Oh, that's great.
I was just having to undo almost a whole row of knitting.
Darn
It's
it. That
it's
that
it's
happened.
remembering three pearls and one knit, and you get. I started doing three knits and one pearl.
Oh, I have something stupid I did. I've started over 3 times.
I have to really concentrate. It's hard.
The one that was hardest for me was the knit two, purl two, because after all of that, three and one and three and one and three and one, and then I'm like, wait, knit two, purl two. Well, I was also watching the women's basketball game last weekend, so could have had something to do with it. Well, we are going to kick this Sea Haven knit along off. I think I pretty much know almost all of you. Maybe there's like a couple of you that I don't know super well yet, but we're going to become well acquainted. I'm Iris from Cashmere Goat in Camden, Maine, and we are super excited that you all are here with us to help us kick off the Sea Haven knit along, our spring knit along, the pattern by Jennifer Shields Toland. Some of us are still swatching, some of us are getting right into it. So we're all at different places, but that's the beauty of how we like to do our knit alongs at the Goat. We really like to make space for all knitters who want to participate. And so there's no pressure, just fun. And what we like about these meetups is it's a great chance to kind of get to know some new knitters, ask some questions, hear the wisdom of the group, because there is a lot of wisdom in this group and a lot of generosity with sharing tips and ideas. And so, yeah, I love to start our, especially these first couple, with doing a little bit of an introduction, just so we can, some of us know each other here, but just to make everybody feel welcome. So what I'd love for folks to do is I'm going to kind of call and keep track of who's on my little Hollywood squares here. And what I'd love to hear you share with us is your name, where you're joining us from. If you want to share a little bit about your yarn that you chose, if you're starting knitting, what's going on. And I guess, if you have questions, maybe like what we'll do is we'll do our intros and then we'll come back around to questions. I think we'll have plenty of time. So we'll make sure that if there are burning questions, we'll be absolutely sure to get to you. So without further ado, let us start. In my upper left-hand corner is Linda Harmon. Hi, Linda.
Hi. So I'm here in Alabama, North Alabama, about 90 miles from Nashville, I'm in Huntsville, the Rocket City, the most progressive part of Alabama, should I say. And I chose, I never say this right. It's Sans Garn Tyne Lin, 10 line Tyne Lin. I don't know, which is the sample she did the short sleeve one in. And it's this color.
Ooh. Oh, wow.
And I'm going to do, I didn't do the ribbing like Iris did. It's just, and I think I'm going to make it a little longer than short sleeves, like maybe elbow length.
That's such a beautiful, fresh color for spring.
Well, I had gotten this to make another anchor, and I just decided I was going to do this instead.
It's absolutely gorgeous, Linda.
Thank you.
Gorgeous. And Linda, you are a knit along veteran, I think we could say. Yeah, maybe that would be the other thing to add to your intro is if you're a veteran or new to our knit alongs, we'd love to hear that.
I've done everyone except the shift, and I have the yarn and the pattern to make a shift, so I can say that I did everyone, but not actually together. Eventually, I'll get there. But yeah, I've done them all.
That's awesome. So good. Well, I'll report. So Kristen owns the Goat, and she usually can't join us on our Zooms because we also have knit night on Wednesdays in the shop. So that's where she usually is. But she'd love to say hi to everybody and welcome to everybody and really happy that everybody is here. Kristen is working on her shift. She didn't finish it. She's picked it back up and is working with it. And I think she was just sort of evaluating some colors. She's sort of, sometimes you put a project down, you pick it back up, and you're thinking, okay, this isn't hitting me the same way it once did. So she's making some midstream changes. Great.
Maybe I'll start mine soon.
Yes. Let's see. Next up, Debbie. You want to introduce yourself, Debbie Gay?
Hi, I'm Debbie Gay. Originally, I live in Warren, Maine, but right now I'm in Bermuda. So I'm just so I didn't want to miss it. So I figured I'd join in, and I usually do scarves. So this is my first knit along, and I've been learning a lot, watching lots of videos, and hopefully I'll be able to get this done.
Yay, we're so happy that you joined us, Debbie. And remind us, what is the yarn you chose? I can't remember.
I don't remember the name of it. I forgot to bring it over, but I can show you what it looks like. It's
yes.
purplish
beautiful paint. All right, well, that's awesome. Enjoy that sunshine in Bermuda for us here in the gray, what I like to now call the Pacific Northwest of the East now is Maine. So those eclipse viewers, they don't know how lucky they were because that was the first clear sky sunny day that I think I remember in months. All right, let's see. Next up, how about Linda Hunt? Hi, Linda.
Hi. My name is Linda Hunt, and I'm from just outside Los Angeles, California. And this is my first knit along. I'm so excited. The reason that I'm doing this knit along is
Just a second.
Can somebody mute maybe?
Yeah.
There we go. All right. Give it another go there, Linda. Sorry.
Okay. So I'm a newbie, not knitting, but doing a knit along. I've never done that before. But I decided to join because this summer, I guess the Cashmere Goat is sponsoring, or somehow I saw that the Cashmere Goat has a knitting cruise. And so
yes.
I decided to join up, and so I'm going to that this summer. So I thought this would be a good way of hooking up with the store. I'm using this, I don't know how to say it. It's called soft lino. Lino, okay. Soft lino. And I'm ready to go. All right.
I went sailing with the goat last summer.
Who said that?
Linda Harmon.
Linda. Hi.
And I went with my daughter-in-law who lives outside Los Angeles.
That's so funny.
It is. And I was ready to go again, but she wasn't quite so ready to go again. And so I can't go this summer because I let my kids come. I got overbooked and didn't realize it, but I'm anxious to go again myself. It was a lot of fun.
Well, I feel like I have to say this because I'm a New Englander by birth, and I'm not from Southern California. And my family that I have, they've never been to like Massachusetts, New Hampshire, Maine, nothing. That's where I grew up. So my husband's going to come with me.
That's awesome. I think you're gonna have a great time. It's really, it's special. It's very special.
I can't wait.
I was talking with a customer on the phone recently, and she had a lot of questions. And I've never been on one of our knitting cruises. Kristen will be joining you for that, but I have been on the very same vessel for a couple of schooner trips, and And there's just something so relaxing, so magical, so, I don't know, you're just it feels like you're a little bit out of time and life just slows down a little bit. It's just
Yep,
beautiful. So,
yep, yep. And it is like camping, just so you're aware of it.
Oh
It's
yeah, I
it,
checked that out. That's great. That's perfect.
I don't think I changed clothes the whole time. I
Yeah,
just
you
put on
know
more
what?
layers.
I'm gonna buy a pair of what are those called? Long johns, and
mm,
probably live in them.
good plan because June
Mm.
in Maine can definitely be like that. Yep. All right. Well, thanks for joining us, Linda Hunt, and so glad we'll probably meet you when you come, because there's usually a little reception in the shop, and or we'll come and do the pop-up shop on the boat. I'm not sure how they're doing it this time, but it'll be great.
Okay, see you there.
So next up, I have Nicole on my screen. Nicole, do you want to pop in and introduce yourself?
Hello. Um, let's see, I live in Wiscasset. This is my first knit along, and um, yeah, I'm fairly new to knitting. I've done some socks, and this is will be my second like sweater shirt, so still pretty new. And I picked so pretty much the same color as Linda, like this kind
Oh,
of
nice.
bluish aqua color,
Yes.
and it's Plymouth. I got it at the Cashmere Goat, but it's Plymouth yarns or something, I want to say.
Cool. Oh, that's beautiful. And gosh, you're I'm actually not at home right now, so I had to do a little bit of email writing before I left my home just to get ready for being away. And so seeing you hold up your knitting with all those stitch markers, you're gonna love the email that's gonna come out on Friday. Spoiler alert,
Well,
it might have something to do with stitch markers.
figured out pretty like my first sweater was my first project ever. I don't know what I was thinking, but that I would drop stitches and it was the best way for me to keep track of dividing them by tens so then I wouldn't be dropping them. So now I'm just
Smarty
like in the
pants.
habit of it.
I love it. I've used them a lot for this sweater. It's such a great idea. Yay. Let's see. Next up, I have Teresa S. Hi, Teresa.
Hi there. So yeah, I'm Teresa. I'm from Virginia, currently in Texas though, to see some family. So I can show you my yarn, which is the monochrome cotton, but I can't show you a project because I just realized that I brought all of my needles except the size I need to start. So
Oh,
I'm gonna keep on my other knitting projects the rest of this week, I guess, uh, and start next week. I did already swatch in preparation to be able to start here, so I'll be off to a running start next week.
ah, dang it. But you're such a speedy knitter. You'll be right on with it. And how was this? What needle size did you get with the swatch? What needle worked?
I can use the needle size for the pattern for
Oh, cool.
once. Uh,
For once, yay. Awesome. We're glad to have you back for another knit along. So good. Okay. Next up, I have Emily. Hi, Emily.
Hi. So I'm in Maryland in St. Mary's County, and this is my second knit along. I did the KAL, just the last one, and it was a lot of fun. So, um, am I muted? No. Okay.
No, no,
It
we can hear
says,
you. You're good.
okay, a sign came up that said unmute. So, and I picked the same one as I can't remember her name.
Linda Hunt,
Linda,
I think.
yeah.
Mhm.
Um, and this is the color I picked, blue.
Yes.
I love the blue.
Mm.
I do have a question though when we get to questions because I have to admit, I like knitting better with wools than I do with the cotton linen. But I live in Maryland where it's really, really, really humid. And so I wanted a summer um, top. And so I'm trying it. I'm using fives because I was a little concerned that the gauge, um, it's gonna, I didn't want it to be so open. So anyway, I'll see. But I do have a question when we get to questions
Okay.
about.
We'll
So
talk gauge, we'll talk blocking. Did you block your swatch too?
I did.
Yeah, nice.
I did it in 4s, 6, 4, and 5.
Oh, great.
And yeah, I don't know. It's the natural fiber. I think it's a little harder for me to kind of figure out. But
Gotcha.
it'll work.
It'll
That's
be
what I'm
awesome.
doing.
Awesome. Well, and I think it's really good to give ourselves those experiences with yarns that are different. It
Yeah.
informs us, and at least that's a nice soft cotton,
Yeah.
and
Oh, it is. It's
it'll
very
show this.
soft.
I
It's
think
very
it'll show
soft.
the stitches really well. I think it'll show those stitches really well too.
Yeah.
Great to have you, Emily, and welcome back. And next up, I have Beth McLean. Hi, Beth.
Hi. So I'm from Pennsylvania, but right now I'm up in Boston. So and I've done several of the other knit alongs. So I'm using a cotton blend. Let me see. It's sort of a natural color, but it has a variegated thread through it. So I also went down to a 5 because it just felt a little holey. Also the fabric. So
Well, great. We're so glad that that you're with us again. And it seems like the theme of the night is people who are not in their normal places that they usually are. But glad people are making time to pop in here. Let's see. Next, I have Gwen. Hi, Gwen.
There we go. Hello. I'm Gwen. I'm from the Mid Hudson Valley in New York State. I'm about 45 minutes below Rhinebeck, where they have the big Sheep and Wool Festival. And I got a chance to meet up with Iris this year when we had it. That was fun. This is probably I think it's my 4th knit along. And I'm using the monochrome cotton also. I have the nice bright green color. And I just started today, so I have very little done, but at least I've got it started.
And what needle size are you using, just out of curiosity?
I'm actually using a 7.
Love it. Oh, well, I'm happy that you're back with us.
Good to be back.
And that green is so fun and so springy.
So I wanted something bright and cheery. I need bright and cheery right now, so this will work out good.
Great. Let's see. I'm going to go to Karen next. Karen, hello.
Hello, Iris. I'm Karen. I am from Yarmouth, Maine, and this is my 2nd knit along. I did the winter one, the Carp Bath sweater, which was the first sweater I had ever successfully knit. So I'm going for a 2nd one. And this year, and it's the 3rd time that I've actually done this, I am not purchasing any yarn during 2024. So in order to do this, I had to find yarn from my stash. So I emailed Iris and I'm like, help, I need to know how many yards for this size. And she was very helpful. So this is a universal yarn DK weight. It's acrylic yarn. It's nothing spectacular, but it's got like an interesting little twist to it. And it's a rose color, which I really like. So, and I have plenty of it. So, and I just started also, and I'm knitting with a size 5 needle. I had never done a swatch in the round. I didn't even know what it was. So, that was really interesting. and I'm excited to be back.
Oh, we're glad to have you back, Karen. It's awesome. And yeah, I mean, if you got it in your stash, sometimes it's a really good thing to bring that stash down. And
That's right. Well, that's what prompts this. There's just way too much in that stash. So hopefully this will bring it down a little bit anyway.
one step at a time, right?
That's right.
Oh, great to see you. Let's see who's up next. Oh, Wendy. Hi, Wendy. Wendy just left us the nicest comment on our Sea Haven
Guys.
you're mute. Oh, there you are. It's just like it was the announcement video for the Sea Haven, and your comment, I screenshotted it immediately and sent it to Kristen, and she said it was a really great message for her to read today, but it was very kind. Thank you.
You two together are magical. I tell you, to watch the podcast and then all that you give, and you both have such different talents, it's just amazing. So I've enjoyed your knit alongs. They've kept me knitting along. But I'm just finishing my whoops.
Ooh, whoa. There's a whiteboard on the screen. Hold on. Let's see. Did I
I don't know what
I'm gonna say
I think I
okay,
have.
there we are. We're back.
Oh, there we are. There we are.
Yep.
So I did the shift with you. That was the first one I did. And then we did the anchor sweater. And I had swatched this for the anchor, and it's that tin line.
Mm-hmm.
And so I used the same swatch. I got permission from my local knitting store to use the same swatch. And I had this, and I don't know if you can see it. I had this in my stash that is the same kind of yarn that really knits up nice, that I had bought to do another anchor sweater. So I haven't started it yet. I have to get this other one off the needles, but I'm glad to be here. I'm from Beverly, Massachusetts, and I'm going to be in Yarmouth next week. So I'm hoping to get up to see you sometime.
Yay.
Are you there any days that next week?
Next week I'm there. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday are my days.
Okay. So hope
That'll
to
be
see.
so much fun to see you. And you maybe weren't on the Zoom quite yet, but Linda Harmon is also using yarn that's the same yarn, and also that she originally bought for an anchor. So let me just spotlight Linda right now so you can see what she's got going on.
Oh, Linda, yes. Oh, it's beautiful. The stitch definition. Oh, I love it.
Lovely. Awesome. Well, thank you, Wendy. So glad that you're back with us. And next up, I have Jane S. Hi, Jane.
Oh, you unmuted me. Hi, I'm Jane. I'm from Central New Hampshire, Gilmanton, and I am going to use a vintage DK in a lovely green, and I haven't swatched yet, so I'm a little behind, but I'll catch up.
That's great. Is that the color? Do you know what color number that is? Because it looks a lot like a color I love in vintage DK, which is called ochre.
Yes, that's the one.
Yeah, we were just looking at that color. It is such a gorgeous
It's
shade.
beautiful.
And I don't even know that the light can capture it, but it's just like it's like a little heathered, but it's bright and not too bright. It's just a great color.
Yeah, I was thrilled when I opened the package from Cashmere Goat.
Yay. And is this your first knit along with us, Jane?
I did the shift.
You did the shift.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Well, welcome back.
Thank you.
All right. Next up, Heidi. Hi, Heidi.
Hi. Hi there. I have a little tiny bit done. I'm Heidi from Camden. I have a tiny bit done.
Lovely.
And I'm using the vintage DK, beautiful green. I love it. And
nice.
That's what I have.
It looks like you're off to a beautiful start over there.
I hope so. Very nervous.
Well, I think you're going to do great. And you can always pop in the shop if you have a quick question, right?
Yeah, thank God.
Glad you're back joining us again. Happy to see you.
Thanks. Thank you.
Well, next up on my screen, I have Mary Ellen Mulhern. Hi, Mary Ellen.
Hi, I have done most of all of the cows, except I never finished the one just didn't work out. But I can't even think of the name of it. The sweater that doesn't button up. The
Oh, the
Alice Smith
Scudic,
one.
yeah, the Scudic.
I ended up taking that out. The style didn't look right. It just wasn't the right thing. But I've done all the other ones. And I'm using vintage DK for this. I'm making a long sleeve sweater.
Nice.
And I'm just getting started. So I'm a little behind.
You're not, we don't have behind here. But also I just want to say, like, I think you can still count yourself as a knit along veteran, even if
Oh,
you
yes.
didn't end up
Yes.
loving that sweater for yourself. I think you can still say with pride that you've done all of the knit alongs.
Okay. Mm.
Well, we're glad that you're back. It's nice to see you. All righty, I have Teresa. Teresa, you're back with us. Yay.
Hi, I'm Teresa. I'm from Pine Bush, New York, so I'm about hour and 15 minutes from Rhinebeck. So this is my third knit along. I did the Carbeth, I did the Soul Warmer, and so I'm working on this one. It's where I am at this point.
Woo.
This is the Tilly.
Mm.
And I'm working, believe it or not, on a size 8.
Okay.
It's been weird. It's been weird. I usually am a very tight knitter, and I went short, smaller needles. I was not getting anything, nothing close to gauge at all. And so then I went with the larger needles and I got gauge. So I'm like, all right, I'm going with it.
And how do you feel like the fabric, like, how's it looking to you?
It is
Yeah.
extremely drapey,
Mm-hmm.
which I'm liking. So we'll see. So that's where I
That's
am.
awesome. Great. Well, welcome back. Glad to have you with us. Okay, so next up, I have someone who's maybe zooming from their car. It says iPhone 196 in a pink sweatshirt, maybe. Oh, nope, you're not in your car. It's just vertical.
Hi, is that me?
That's you. That's you. Who are you? Tell us.
My name's Ellen, and I am in Phippsburg, Maine. This is my first knit along, and I'm using a size 5, and I have picked On the Round. It's a plush DK, and it's a light blue color.
Is
So
that the robin's egg, maybe?
It might be, but I have torn off the color and just kept the label of what it was. So
Can you hold it up for us so we can admire? Ooh, yeah.
And the color is
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful.
I think it'll be lovely. And I'm going to make the short sleeve. But I like
Great.
the thought of the elbow length somebody mentioned. I know I might go because I like that style. So
Yes. Oh, well, we're happy that you've joined us, that you found us, Ellen. And yeah, a lot of us are big fans of that On the Round plush DK. I can tell you that right now.
yeah, it's very soft.
It's so soft, totally next to your skin, which is nice for a t-shirt or sleeve, like 3/4 length. Okay, so think we've talked to everybody except Yolanda. Yolanda, your camera's off, so no pressure to say hi, but if you want to even just unmute and introduce yourself, that's great. If not, that's okay too. I'll just give her a minute. All right. Well, we'll just say if you, Yolanda, if you feel like popping in a little bit later, that's fine. Um, well, fantastic. Here we all are. All right. Well, let's just like dive in with Emily's question. Oh, I see. Yolanda is trying to unmute and get her video on. Well, we'll let you work on that and we'll address Emily's question. You want to hop in with your question right now, Emily?
Okay, sure. So, I saw that you showed that little video of the I'm sorry, my of the it laid out. And she said to block it after you've done, I guess, the short rows. And so I was kind of this yarn. So did you wash yours and then block it, or did you steam it?
I didn't steam it. I wet blocked it. I
Wet blocked
left it. I didn't cut any yarn, just left the yarn ball on there, just kind of left it on the counter. It's the first time that I've ever steamed a sweater yoke. Like at this, I've steamed parts of my, steamed sweaters at different times, but this was the first time to steam or to block and pin for me.
Yeah.
And it looked, I will tell you, it looked really, really big to me. So I don't know how it will be, but I left it at the shop. I don't have anything to show you. I left it at the shop so it could finish drying and then I'll meet back up with it when I get back into town. But, I was thinking to myself, well, if it is too big, I guess I would just take it out back to probably my last increase and just skip that one. But I'm going to reserve judgment till I get back and try it on again.
Well, I was also wondering because this is the plant fibers. When I did wet block the swatch, and it did change. I mean, which it does after you've soaked, them. It did change it. Is there anything I should be aware of because of being the cotton? Like when I don't know. Does anybody know what I'm talking about? It's not
You're
like
like,
wool.
you're worried that it'll maybe get like kind of floppy?
Yeah, too stretched out, or I guess I just have to be careful and really get the water out. And
because like the great news is you're not going to felt it. You can really squeeze the heck out of it to get the
yeah.
water out. So that part's good. Linda Harmon, did you have something you wanted to add?
Well, I was going to say two things. One, well, so I made the anchor out of this same yarn, which is 53% cotton, 14% linen, and 33% viscose. And it's just flimsy. It's not, it's not firm. It's more drapey. It's when it's a light yarn like that or plant-based, whatever. I like it for the summer. It feels real, not heavy. It's not heavy. Like if it were a thicker yarn, all cotton or wool. So I like it. And then the other thing, I was thinking this yoke was looking pretty big too, and imagined if, after you block it. But when I look at the pattern, the yoke patterning kind of comes midway down the arm right here. So when you spread that part out, I mean, that is pretty big,
Yep. It's true. And I think going back to the sort of plant-based thing too, when I was knitting with I can't remember the yarn name, but it was a sport weight for my anchor last summer, and I think I was using a size 4, maybe 5 needle, and but the yarn just felt like when I looked at my swatch, I was like, I don't think before I blocked it, I was thinking, I don't think this is going to be like a beach cover up. It's going to be so holy. Like I can't even imagine. But no, it was it was so interesting to me how that thin yarn ended up filling in, and as the after washing it really did change, and I'm sure as you experienced with your swatch. But in terms of your concern about it sort of sagging out, the fact that, I mean, linen is very structurally sound, as opposed to cotton, which is can be like, if you have 100% cotton, it can be kind of saggy, except for those of you using the monochrome. That one has such a nice round twist to it, I think, and that is a beautiful part of that yarn in terms of holding its form. I will say too that those that again, where we knit the Anker summer shirt last summer, some of us found that, you know, we would even toss it in the dryer just really for like a few minutes to kind of like whoop, suck the cotton lint, you know, just sort of like help it find its form. Again, really obviously being very careful, but that also might be something ultimately that could be helpful with your concerns about the drape.
Okay. So just go ahead and wet it and
I
do
mean,
it.
if you're concerned though, I mean, steam blocking is a completely legitimate way to block. Like if you don't want to do a full wet submerge, steam block definitely helps stuff, you know, it's pretty good if you've got a
But I
steamer.
don't know how I get the right. Yeah, I just don't. Okay.
Like
All right.
if you took a spray bottle, let's say, I'm just thinking out loud, but if you took a spray bottle and you really kind of spritzed your yolk pretty, you know, really got it a lot of spritz on there, and then took your steamer to it, I think that
Yeah.
that would probably be pretty adequate.
Okay. All right. It's kind of, for some reason, it's scary to me. I don't know why.
It's a funny thing, you know, to have to put your, you know, sort of put the brakes on in the middle. But on the other hand, the good news is then you get some important data like me if I have to go back to maybe rip some rows out, or maybe I won't need to. We'll see. Let's see. Yolanda, let's see, says yeah, so she is using the soft lino yarn, Yolanda. It's a 80% linen, 20% cotton. All right, any other questions for the group? Yeah, hi Heidi.
Hi there. How do all of you get these beautiful balls of yarn to knit with? They're gorgeous. Mine is just round like this. How do you guys get the...
Oh, into the ball from the skein, you mean?
Yeah. How do you guys get from this to your beautiful oval round?
Our yarn cake. So well, there's the real old fashioned low tech way is to have somebody hold their arms out and hold that skein straight. But if you don't have a person that's willing to be your yarn holder, you could also use a chair. But even better, since you're right up the street from the shop, bring those skeins in, and we have what's called a swift, which is this kind of, it looks like an umbrella and it opens up. So you wrap your, and then we've got the ball winder part of it. So we take the yarn from the swift and then kind of thread it through the ball winder, and then that makes this nice little cake of yarn.
When she's at the table doing that.
Yes. So you can come on down anytime and wind some yarn right in the shop. We'll teach you how.
Oh wow. All right, I might do that. Thank you.
Perfect. Yeah. Any other questions? Yeah, Mary Ellen.
I have a question about, do you have a new shawl on?
Well, it's not a new shawl. I made this fall, but then when I was visiting with my mom, she loved it. I knew she was gonna love it as soon as I made it. So this is the crosswalk shawl. Let's see if I can. I might have to I'm gonna unblur my background so you can see it. Crosswalk by Stephen West. So it's one of his like less kind of totally crazy shawls. And I when I was down here visiting my mom in February and she was having her knee replaced, she kind of fell in love with it, which I knew was sort of like as soon as she was going to see the color, she was going to love it. So I was like, okay, I'll just leave the shawl with you. But then here I am back with her because she's having more knee related stuff that I'm back helping with her with for a couple days. And I was like, can I borrow back my shawl, please, for the Zoom?
It's very pretty. I love it.
Thank you so much. It was really a fun knit. And one of the things that I loved about it was, and it kind of echoes our Sea Haven, doesn't it? With the sort of chevron vibe that we get in our Sea Haven. But I really liked this pattern for being visually, I was able to really visually follow my knitting once I understood what was happening in each section. And it didn't seem overwhelming at all because it was just sort of like rhythmic. It was a rhythmic knit. Yes.
I love to make shawls.
Yeah.
What was the name of it again?
It's called Crosswalk, and I will be honest with you that I didn't love the yarn that Stephen used, which is sometimes the way for me. The color, it was very, which was weird because it was sort of muted and speckly, which doesn't really sound like Stephen either. And I just thought, wow, well, I think I really want some bold contrast so you can really keep your eyes on what's happening. And it's a DK weight shawl, so you're not, doing it forever either.
I like it.
Thanks. Wendy, hand raised Wendy.
I haven't started knitting yet. So when you knit the ribbing in the beginning, I know in one part she says you can knit it or omit it. The start of the neck. But I noticed on Ravelry, a lot of people, like I want to make the neck smaller. I don't want it to be so open. So it says to do 1 inch of the knit one, purl one ribbing. I'm just, because I can't tell from the picture. It doesn't look like she did it, but I'm not sure if she did it in the picture of the short sleeve.
The short sleeve, I think, has no collar. Yep. But the other thing that's cool is that if you decide to knit it without a collar now, you could always pick it up later. Oh, Linda's over here showing. Let me spotlight you, Linda.
It's just not ribbed. It's just solid.
Oh, okay.
So it was weird because you use a 4 or use the smaller needle to cast on the, cast on, and then you immediately change to the bigger needle, which was hard for me.
Yeah.
Well, I'm guessing, guessing that that's to provide that structural edge piece, probably.
That's what I think, because it's not, let me put my little stoppers on and I'll hold it up because.
But in the pattern, it says the rib neckband only. You knit one through the back loop and then purl one.
Well, yeah, but that's for if you have the ribbing. You're ribbing with that 2 sizes smaller in the rib neckband, but for like the non-ribbed, like what Linda is saying, she cast on with that smaller needle and then immediately switched up to the body needle because as you can see what she's holding up, that first little patch of stockinette is going to be in the body size needle.
And it's kind of small, it's kind of, if I had a neck here, it's not really very big, like the pattern looks like. I mean, it's, and I think I'm knitting a pretty big size, number 4.
So I'm confused because on page 6 it says ribbed neckband only.
I did not do that part.
Right.
What about it?
So how you read the pattern is, so if you cast on and there's a sentence that says after the beginning part where you cast on and you place your marker, it says, if you do not wish to knit the rib neckband, proceed to yoke. So you would skip over that rib neckband and go right to yoke where you change to your larger needles. If you're going to do it like Linda's doing it, where there's no ribbing, you're just going to go right from your cast on and your smaller size needle right up to your body size needle for the yoke. Did I understand your question?
Yeah, no, because I wanted it to be higher, so I thought I needed the ribbed thing, but Linda's seems to be.
And it's it's not stretchy. I mean, this is not much stretch at all.
And I'm
Hardly
using the same yarn. Are you using it doubled or do you have the DK weight?
Doubled.
So I have the DK weight of it. So I'm not doubling.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, thank you.
Cool.
I'm doing the I did the ribbing, even though I'm doing a summer one, I just did the ribbing because I wanted it higher too.
Mm-hmm.
But
so when people do their neckline, how do you, I struggle to join mine. Like this was not, there was not much give at all. So do you use magic loop when you do your necklines? How do you join in the round? You use a short needle? Do you use a real short needle?
I had a short enough needle, and then what I do is I put on an extra stitch when I'm casting on, and then I will go and knit into both how do I do it? I I knit in I slip okay. I cast on an extra, then I slip one over, and then I knit into both of them, if that's making sense. And then I slip it back to put my marker on, if that makes sense. So in other words, I cast on an extra one to try to join that. But if I don't have a long enough one, I use two circulars.
Okay.
But
thanks for that tip. Anybody else have a good tip to share with the group? Debbie, go ahead and unmute.
I actually have a question. So I've been watching the video for doing the magic circle. I've watched it 4 times now. Is there one particular one that you watch or have seen that is better than some of the other ones?
For the magic loop?
Yeah.
I think did I put into the I like to recommend the very pink knits, but I'm wondering maybe I didn't put that into our I may not have put that into our YouTube playlist, but I will look and make sure that is, because I like her tutorials, they're really clear, and sometimes she has like slow motion versions as well. But Very Pink Knits is the channel name.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I'll get it. It's just
You
taking
will.
a bit of time.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to thank you for the video you did for the Make One Right Pearl. I've looked at it a number of times, but it's your videos are very helpful because they're close up and slow enough.
Great. That's awesome to hear. I'm glad that it's helpful. Actually, I don't love a make one right on the knit side. It's the harder one for me personally. It feels tight, it feels awkward, but the make one right purl feels easy to me. So you guys, I'm gonna just do a little quick show and tell. This is not a sweater because, as you know, it's blocking. I'm working on my sole warmer. This is the one that's gonna be in the shop as a shop sample. I use the Fino, the Monostil Uruguay Fino mini skeins. With this one is the cottage fingering aubergine mixed in there, and I'm getting down there. It's gonna be in the shop soon. Woo-hoo. Any other questions, tips, wisdom of the group? Yeah. That's okay. Sometimes we just have a little time to knit. Ooh,
So I
missed
had
it.
never done
Out too.
I had never done a make one right purl. And of course, I wasn't obviously paying attention to the pattern because instead of purling before you got to that part, I was knitting along like crazy. And so I would knit 5 and then I would make one right purl. And then I would knit 5 and I would make one right purl. And so I got probably an inch past that. And I thought, well, this doesn't look very good at all. And so I took it out. I did that twice before I figured out, oh, it says purl 5. Then it looked really great.
Oh, shucks. Yeah.
You're supposed to read the pattern. Of course, I had read it, it's just not paying attention.
I know it. It happens.
What yarn are you using again, Linda, that you're holding double? Is it a really?
It's it's the 10 line.
So it's a small one then
So
of fingering?
I think that there's two. One is called 10 line and one is called line. And I think the 10 line is, well, it's thinner than fingering weight.
Oh.
I don't like the finger.
What does it even say here on? Well, the print is so small on the label, I can hardly read it. It suggests a size 3 needle.
One of our Sea Haven knit along participants actually decided that she found a project on Ravelry for this sweater, and it was a short sleeve Sea Haven knit actually using a single strand of fingering. And so it's a very open, kind of a lacy sort of a look almost. You'd be wearing a tank top underneath it or whatever, but I thought, okay, that'll be fun to see how that comes together. So you got some of the Astrid by Seven Sisters, one of our main dyers. So we'll keep you posted on that. She wasn't able to start it right away, but she'll be joining us kind of midway, probably, I think.
But mine is the line as well. And it's like twice, it's double what it's a DK weight.
But is it 10 line?
It's a 10 line, but it's DK weight. Yeah. Because I use this for the anchor. And it knits up really nice and holds its shape. And you can put it in the dryer, like you say, for a few minutes.
Okay. I think Linda Hunt, you're the one using the soft lino? What needle did you end up using? Wait a minute, you're muted.
I started with number 4 needles. I went up to 5. I jumped over 6. I went to 7. So now I'm doing 6. I'm just now starting it. What number are you using?
I'm using 5 for the body. Yeah, I think I am. I don't know why it looks. Oh.
So I don't know.
Yes,
I'm hoping that this one will be closer to the numbers.
I had a question in the chat about it is explaining how swatching in the round can contribute to a different gauge versus creating a swatch by going back and forth. And so the difference comes to, and I mean, I'm going to be honest, didn't start swatching in the round till like probably 2 years ago. But did I have some sweater misses because of gauge? Maybe along the way, for sure. And maybe this was a contributing factor. But it turns out that when that a lot of us have a different tension when we purl than when we knit.
Yeah.
You may have noticed this. For some people it's tighter when they purl. For some people it's looser than their knits. And I wonder if that has to do with the fact that most of us learn to knit and spend some time knitting before we ever learn to purl. So there's something about the knit stitch that is almost like your home base. You kind of you're raised on knit stitches, and then when it comes time to purl, it's different. And maybe that's just always going to be a difference. But because purling can be a different tension, it ultimately does affect your gauge. So that's why if you're knitting something that is going to be knit in the round, you want to be swatching also in the round. And people say, like, for consistency's sake, as close to being able to mimic the same, let's say, needles, if you're going to be knitting, you're going to be knitting on, you love wooden needles or you love metal needles, well, you better be swatching with those same material needles as well, to be as consistent, because really your gauge swatch is all about providing you with some data about your needles and your yarn. So follow-up question. So yes, so the follow-up question was, so are you really just knitting when you do a swatch in the round? And the answer is yes. If you look at the video that I put in our YouTube playlist, you'll notice that in the video, there's a stitch marker hanging on the front of the swatch that I'm knitting. And I did that intentionally so that it would be a visual reminder that I'm not turning my work. So I'm using a double pointed needle in the video, but you could be using a circular needle as well. And the reason why is because I need to be able to, if we were pretending that this was my fabric here, I need to be able to knit down to the end of this row and then slide my work back to the other end so that the right side of the work is facing me every single time. So that's that. Hopefully that helps. Other questions, thoughts? I will say, for me personally, the pattern writing on this pattern, I'm really enjoying the clarity of so far it's felt very clear to my eyes. I will say that there was one little formatting detail that I am going to bring your attention to. I'll mention it now, but also you can check this out in the Friday email. There's I don't know, now that we've done a few knit alongs, we've used a few different patterns, I feel like I'm really tuned in and I try to really pay attention to places where, just because of the way that the text is laid out on the page, could potentially be a stumbling block for folks. And I think I stumbled on one of those. So just if you want to take a moment now, if you look at page 6, you're going to be looking in the section 3 left pennant. And you'll see it says size 1 only. And then right underneath that, it says round 4, purl to end of round. I believe there should be another space in between that line of direction and then what comes next, which is sizes 2 through 9 only. Because the first time I read it, and then the first time when I was working with somebody else in the shop, they kind of saw that size 1 only, and they were like, well, that's not me. I'll just skip to the next one, without seeing that in the middle of what looks like a paragraph, there's actually a set of instructions really specific to every size except for size 1. Does that make sense? So just give a little star, a little circle, a little.
Yeah, I missed that.
So wait a minute. What are you? Because I just went past. I did not.
So yeah, there's an increase round for sizes 2 through 9.
Right.
That is kind of buried underneath the size 1 only.
Okay, and so I just, when it says size 1 only, I didn't do round 4. I just skipped to the 2
So
through
you
9.
skip, yep, exactly. That's exactly right. It's just
That's
that
correct. Okay.
reading, if that's correct, it's just reading it. You might see, oh, size 1 only. I don't have to do that. I'm doing something else. And then skip down to all sizes, as opposed to noticing that, oh, there's also a sizes 2 through 9 only.
Okay.
Yep, I missed it.
Well, I'm glad I didn't make you wait till Friday then, Linda.
Because I'm 3 rows past it.
Oh.
Dang. Oh, dang.
Dang, dang, dang.
I noticed that. So when I read through the pattern, I highlighted that size 2 to 9.
This is how I highlighted mine. See, I marked it all out.
Oh no.
Because I like the formatting of this, and as I'm scanning along, I see that she's got each section, so I see that section doesn't apply to me, and I move on. Yep. Okay.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. It's not the first time.
Well, I know for me it won't be the last.
It won't for me either.
Yeah. Well, we are just a little past 6 o'clock. A lot of us say that this Zoom hour of the week is a very fast hour because we just all are knitting and chatting and getting nerdy about gauge and yarn and enjoying each other's company. And here we are, another great kickoff to another Goat Knit Along. Thank you all for being here. It was awesome to spend the hour with you, and hope to see you on next week's Zoom.
Thanks for doing this.
Thank you.
Awesome. Be in touch. Be in touch if you have questions. Thanks so much.
This is going to be at the same time next week?
Yes, it will be. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Our Zooms are pretty much always the same time slot unless we're dealing with a designer that has a time zone problem. And, for that one meeting, we might meet at some other time.
Okay. But okay. See you all next week. Bye.
Thank you. Thanks
Bye.
for coming.
Bye.
Thanks.